Welcome to Think About It with your host, Jaden Miller.
Good day, good day, good day. This is Jaden Miller, and I own the podcast Think About It with Jaden Miller. I want to welcome you all to a very rainy Sunday afternoon here in Phoenix, Arizona. As I promised, I upload a podcast every Wednesday and Sunday. Today is Sunday. And so I am going to share with you the latest news on the Gabby Petito case, as I've been doing for the last week, but also try to talk to you about another topic, maybe something that is a little bit more controversial in terms of how we think about certain subjects, maybe some controversial topics that we can discuss today. So again, this is Think About It with Jaden Miller. Welcome. It again is a very, very rainy Sunday afternoon in Phoenix, Arizona. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, which you can see me at as well. Or you can share and like and follow me on your favorite podcast platform. All right. So again, welcome. Let's start with some controversial topics today. Some controversial topics. All right. Here's one for you. Should toilet paper hang over or under the roll? All right. Think about it with Jaden Miller. Think about it. Should toilet paper hang over or under the roll? I personally think that it should go under. You know, that is certainly a debate that lots of people have, but I think it should go under. What do you say? What do you think? Think about it with Jaden Miller. Are morning people more productive than night people? Are morning people more productive than night people? I don't know. I think morning people tend to get things done and night people tend to procrastinate. Oops, that's controversial. That's extremely controversial. I'll probably get some comments about that one. I'm a morning person, so I like to get things done in the morning. It's very, very difficult for me to get things done in the evening. All right. For those of you that may be listening overseas, is the American accent better than the British accent? Is the American accent better than the British accent? I don't know. Actually, I kind of like the way that the Brits talk sometimes. I mean, I think they're still smarting because, they got their butts kicked in the Revolutionary War. So maybe that's why they talk like that, because they're still upset and their nose are still a little bit up in the air. Oops, that's controversial. I'm probably going to get some comments about that. Okay, I'm just kidding. I love our British brethren and sisters over in the United Kingdom. All right, but is the American accent better than the British accent? Think about it. Think about it. Here's one for you. If you had the option, would you choose to live forever? If you had the option, would you choose to live forever? That's a long time. So imagine living from, let's just make it simple, from the beginning of the 20th century. So that would have been 1900, okay? And just living on continuously. Would that be okay with you? You certainly would be able to say that you experienced quite a few things, all right? The question is, though, would you choose to live forever, but would you also continue to age? Okay? See, it's one thing to be 25 and live forever. It's another thing to be 90 and live forever, all right? So think about it. Think about it with Jaden Miller. Would you rather be extremely short or extremely tall? Well, how do we define short and how do we define tall? I don't think I would want to be 4'8", but also don't think I want to be 7'5" either, okay? I'm right around the 5'11", 6 feet area. I kind of like that. Sometimes I wish I was a little bit taller, maybe like 6'3". But I don't think I would want to be extremely short or extremely tall. All right. Here, I just mentioned this one a little bit about time. Would you rather travel 100 years forward or back in time? All right. Well, that depends on your perspective. I happen to be an African American man, okay? And so going back 100 years for me may not be beneficial depending on where I'm living, okay? So if I'm living in the good old United States of America, well, 100 years ago may not be so good for me, all right? But going into the future, 100 years may be beneficial, may be wonderful, may be great, okay? Going back to 100 years back, it depends. I mean, where am I living, okay? Am I living in Mozambique? Am I living in South Africa? I don't know if I want to live in South Africa 100 years ago. What about Kenya 100 years ago? Living in Kenya 100 years ago may not have been as bad, okay? All right, so think about it. Think about it. What would you rather do? Would you rather travel 100 years forward or back in time? All right. Here's another one. Would you rather be the hero or the sidekick? All right. So would you rather be Batman or would you rather be Robin? All right. So think about it. Batman had a great deal of responsibilities. All right. Robin could just tag along, and just help out whenever necessary, But all of the weight of the world wasn't on Robin, or the weight of Gotham City wasn't on Robin, but it was on Batman. All right. So think about it with Jaden Miller. Let's take a look at some universal topics. How about this one? Do aliens exist? Do aliens exist? Have aliens already visited us? Okay. I have some real deep-seated feelings about this. I do believe that there is life outside of Earth, okay? Somewhere out in the universe, all right? I think it would be really bad for us to think, or really selfish for us as humans to think that we are the only living beings in the universe. I think there's that possibility. I'm not sure. Does the universe have a beginning and an end? Another good question. Think about it with Jaden Miller. Here's one. Is 13 an unlucky number? Now, let me tell you a little something about me. All right. I coached a soccer team when I lived in Colorado. And I coached a softball team. Did I say soccer? I certainly didn't mean to say soccer because I know absolutely nothing about soccer, but a softball team, okay? I coached a softball team when I was in Colorado, when I lived in Colorado. And I was a manager coach. A player coach. And so I played, usually third base, or I pitched. And then I also managed the team. I, did the lineup, made sure I got everybody together, all of that good stuff. Well, I wore the lucky number 13, all right? And as a result of that, my teams won championships for like maybe 3 or 4 years in a row. So, I think 13 is a very lucky number. But what do you say? Think about it. Think about it. Is 13 an unlucky number? Here's one for people that work in the retail industry or a customer service industry. Is the client always right? Is the client always right? Well, let's ask ourselves the question though. What if the client continuously is asking for something that normal customers don't ask for? What if the customer or the client brings back something and you have a store policy that says that can't be brought back, but yet the client threatens to never come back or leave you with a bad review? Is the client always right? I say no. Sometimes people will take advantage, okay? We all know those kinds of people. They want something for nothing. We know who they are. Some of them are family members. Some of them are friends. You know who they are. We're just being honest here on Think About It with Jaden Miller. There are some people out there that will try to get something for absolutely nothing. So I say no, the client is not always right. All right. I think you have to take into consideration what's being asked for or what the situation is in front of you. and then take the necessary action. But you can't let people just run over you. You can't do that, especially in business where you have tight budgets and your profit margins are really, really slim. So you have to really, really be careful when people try to take advantage. All right. Here's one for you. Should it be illegal for a man to wear skinny jeans? Should it be illegal? All right, well, I wear skinny jeans from time to time. I wear skinny pants from time to time. I think they look good on me, okay? But I think it depends on your body style, okay? And then, do you feel comfortable in them? Do you feel confident in them? All right. So I've seen some men wear skinny jeans and they looked awful. And then I've seen some men that have worn skinny jeans and they look fine. All right. So you think about it. And then if you know me and you see me wearing skinny jeans, you can let me know whether or not they look good or they look bad. Or should it be illegal for Jaden Miller to wear skinny jeans? All right. Here's one for you. I've always had an issue with this one. All right. This one is really near and dear to me. For those of you that know me, or for those of you that are still getting to know me, I've had a varied professional life. So I spent many, many years in law enforcement. I managed photography studios. And as you all know, I am a photographer, a professional photographer. But I've also been a school teacher. I've taught at the college level, kindergarten, and at the high school level, okay, before moving into junior high school administration. But this one always bothered me. Is cheating on exams ever justified? Okay. Now, I've caught some people cheating on exams, and I have really, really taken them to task for that. Okay. I think cheating on an exam is intolerable. I think if you study and do your best, you should live with that. If you don't study and you get a bad grade, I think you should take responsibility for that. But I don't think at any time should you cheat on an exam. That is just the worst for me. All right. Here's one for you. Think about this one. Is lying to help a friend acceptable? Is lying to help a friend acceptable? Now, you all may disagree with me on this one. But as you get prepared to disagree with me, I want you to remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, all right, which is another platform that you can find me at, or on your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget, I drop episodes every Sunday and Wednesday. I did a special one on Friday, but I drop episodes every Wednesday and Sunday. And so again, thank you all for listening to Think About It with Jaden Miller. All right, here we go. Is lying to help a friend acceptable? Okay. Now, I'm going to say this. It depends on the situation. Now, you all can say, well, you know what, Jaden Miller, isn't honesty the best policy? And I say, yeah, sometimes. All right. But it depends on what you're lying about. All right. So if you're lying to get your friend out of some legal police situation, then I think that's wrong. Okay. But if you're lying to get your friend out of an uncomfortable situation with, for example, someone in a relationship where it's doing them harm, or it's to help someone who, if you're really, really honest with them, then it's going to hurt them and you don't want to hurt them. I think sometimes maybe a little white lie, is acceptable in those cases. All right. But if it's something really, really serious that could, ensure that your friend goes to prison, or you can, all right, then I say it's not acceptable. So it depends on the situation. All right, here, let's move into some food stuff. All right. Food stuff. Think about it with Jaden Miller. What's the best pizza topping? All right. Now, my question is cheese a topping, or does cheese just automatically come on a pizza? Can you have a pizza without cheese? I don't know. If there are any of my Italian listeners out there that have made pizza before, is cheese a topping on pizza? I'm not sure. All right. But what's the best pizza topping? If cheese is not a topping, all right, then I would say probably for me, like maybe green onions, or I do like chicken. So those would be the best for me. I do like mushrooms on a pizza too. So some of those things are. What do you consider to be your best pizza topping? All right. Don't forget to follow me, like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, what's your favorite one? I don't know. Question: does pineapple belong on a pizza? Now, see, I'm one of those people of the mindset that you can have whatever you want on your pizza. So I don't know. I've had pineapple on pizza before. It was okay. Um, I don't know. What do you think? Think about it with Jaden Miller. All right, so here is McDonald's better than Burger King? Uh-oh, now I don't want to get sued, okay? But this is just my own personal opinion, all right? So I've gone to McDonald's for many, many years, all right? And my first job was at McDonald's. Yes, I used to work at a McDonald's. I worked usually on the weekends because I was still in high school, and I usually worked the breakfast into the afternoon shift, all right? But I've always eaten at McDonald's. I always liked McDonald's. I always thought Burger King was, I don't know, just a little behind McDonald's in certain things. But I have since changed, okay? I actually, when I do, and I don't go to fast food restaurants very often, but when I do go, I would have to admit that I go to Burger King now as an adult more than I did McDonald's. It's also probably because where I grew up in Chicago, there were certainly more McDonald's restaurants than there were Burger King. So that might have something to do with it as well. All right. Here's another one. Is Coke better than Pepsi? Think about it. Is Coke better than Pepsi? I don't drink much pop or soda these days, but I will say that Pepsi is much, much better than Coke. I think it's because Pepsi might be a little bit sweeter. Coke seems to be a little bit harsher to me, but anyway, that's what I think. Here's one for you. Is tap water better than bottled water? Is tap water better than bottled water? Well, it all depends on the source, where you get it from, okay? Because some tap water is bottled water, okay? And they'll say it on a little sticker. You've got to read these things, okay? They'll tell you that the water is sourced from municipal sources, okay? Well, what is a municipal source? That's tap water, okay? So you're paying for the same water that you could run from your own kitchen sink into a bottle, okay? Don't buy into the hype, all right? You want to get water that is sourced from some spring or some mountain spring, okay? So for me, I like bottled water, but it's got to be specifically from some mountain spring, okay? All right, think about it with Jaden Miller. Should butter be kept in the refrigerator? Well, where else are you going to keep it? I mean, it's butter. I mean, doesn't butter go bad? All right, so I think butter should be kept in the refrigerator. Think about it with Jaden Miller. How many slices should you cut cake into? All right. Well, I guess it depends on what type of cake it is. All right. Is it a sponge cake? Is it a round cake? Is it a sheet cake? Is it a wedding cake? Is it a birthday cake? I don't know. So it all depends. All right. Here's some on relationships. Oh my gosh, we are talking about relationships. All right. Here on Think About It with Jaden Miller. Do men actually gossip more than women? All right, I want my women listeners out there to tell me what you think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. On my YouTube channel, you can actually comment as well. So, what do you think? Do men actually gossip more than women? So I'm going to weigh into this one myself and say, absolutely, men gossip more than women, okay? They do. Men always have something to say, ladies. I just want you to know. All right. So be careful what you say to men because they will tell. Trust me. I know. All right. And for my men listeners out there, don't think I'm a sellout or anything. I'm just telling the truth. All right. Think About It with Jaden Miller. All right. Should arguments in a couple be avoided or encouraged? Should arguments in a couple be avoided or encouraged? Well, first of all, I hate to argue. All right. Really do. There's research that says that arguments should be encouraged because you get to talk it out. But I don't know. I just hate to get into arguments. I think everybody should be happy and get along, and life should be happy and good. But that's just my opinion. Think about it with Jaden Miller. What do you say about that? Should arguments in a couple be avoided or encouraged? All right. Are long distance relationships worth it? Are long distance relationships worth it? What do you think? Are long distance relationships worth it? Now, let's say that your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your significant other or whomever, lives clear across the country. All right. You don't get to see that person often. Can that relationship stand the test of time? Or, is it bound to go, in a negative direction? I don't know. I've never had a long distance relationship before. I think I attempted one once and knew that it wasn't going anywhere. So I guess that answers the question. But in my opinion, they don't work. So that's what I think. What do you think? All right. Here's one for you. Should people date a partner much older than themselves? Well, there was this singer back in the early 1990s, and unfortunately she died. But she had a song that said, "Age ain't nothing but a number." Her name was Aaliyah. Age ain't nothing but a number. I just think it depends on the people, okay? If you are 25 and you decide to date someone that's 40, I think you as an adult can make that decision for yourselves. I know there are people out there that like to have a say, but it really is up to the couple, all right? You all determine whether or not that is right for you, not professional relationship counselors or anybody else. I think that's something you should determine for yourselves. All right. Here is online dating good or bad? Is online dating good or bad? I think online dating is a good thing because we now live in a society where it's very, very difficult to meet people. So when I was growing up, they had dances and they had skating events. It was just a different time where, men and women could get together and were encouraged to get together, all right, so that they could find a mate, get to know each other in these social types of settings that were often put together by older people, all right. Well, times have changed and now people are more suspect of each other. We think that everybody is sketchy. That person is sketchy. It used to be a time that you could be grocery shopping and you were a single man and saw a single lady and you could strike up a conversation. Now, if you were to do that, people think you're weird. Okay. Weird for doing that which is natural. All right. So I think now because we've moved, of course, more into a advanced technological age when it comes to dating, I think it's an acceptable thing. I wish we could go back to the old way where you could just meet somebody on the street, but then again, it just doesn't work like that anymore. All right. Here's something about sports. All right. I teach at a high school, and I know that some of my high school students, I teach at a junior high school now. Well, actually, I don't teach at all. I'm an administrator at a junior high school, but I used to teach at a high school. But I know that there were some young ladies, maybe some young men that were involved in cheerleading. Is cheerleading a real sport, or is cheerleading an activity? Think about it with Jaden Miller. Is cheerleading more like an athletic activity as opposed to a real sport? What do you think? I don't know a whole lot about cheerleading. I know that it involves quite a bit of aerobics and acrobatical, seems like moves, but seems like a sport to me, but I don't know. What do you think? Think about it with Jaden Miller. Let's talk about a little bit more about children in schools, all right? Here's one for kids. And I think this one goes for adults too. Are clowns funny or scary? Now, let me tell you, I know some adults that are afraid of clowns, and that is so crazy to me, okay? Why are you afraid of Bozo? Maybe you've been watching too many of those Chucky movies or something like that, but clowns are just clowns. They've got that makeup on, but there are some people that have some real deep-seated phobias of clowns. And I don't mean to make light of it, but that's just crazy to me. So I guess I am making light of it. But what do you think? Are clowns funny or scary? All right. Should a kid, meaning someone under the age of 16, be allowed to get tattoos? Should kids be allowed to get tattoos? I don't know. I don't have a tattoo. And I think that's something that parents should decide within their families. But I'm not sure about that one. What do you think? Think about it with Jaden Miller. That can be a controversial one, but I think parents should be allowed to make those kinds of decisions. I don't know. Should homework be banned? Should homework be banned? I think that's even crazy to suggest. I think students should have homework, okay? I think they should have the ability to take things home and complete them. I think teachers should assign work for them to do that isn't necessarily needed to be done overnight, but maybe over a time period, over maybe a week or two, so that they can have time to do other things at home as well. But I don't think homework should be something that's banned, okay? I think we're always constantly learning, aren't we? Or at least we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be continually learning, all right? And so can't we learn at home? I think so. I think so with Jaden Miller. Should we stop teaching handwriting in school? All right. Handwriting is cursive. All right. Well, I think a lot of schools have stopped teaching cursive, which I don't know. I think it could be I think that decision may have been detrimental on some parts. I had to learn cursive or penmanship in high school. In grammar school. And I think that was a foundation for me to help me to learn better. Okay. I had to learn how to write. Therefore, I needed to learn how to think critically. I needed to show certain types of skills, from penmanship and from that type of a handwriting. I don't know. I think nowadays we are limiting ourselves to 140 characters, and I think that's doing us a disservice. All right. But just my opinion on Think About It with Jaden Miller. Here's one for you. Are smartphones making kids smart or stupid? Are smartphones making kids smart or stupid? What do you think? Think About It with Jaden Miller. I think smartphones are a great addition to that which we have to utilize to make our lives easier today. But I don't know if it's making kids smart or stupid. I think with proper teaching at school and proper teaching at home, with the use of books and, of course, the internet used sparingly, but yet to assist us in our learning, I think smartphones have a place. I don't think they, in and of themselves, are making kids smart or stupid. So anyway, that's my opinion on Think About It with Jaden Miller. Here's another one. Should students be banned from using phones during class? All right, let's talk about that. And I've told you that I have been or at once was a high school teacher, and I did not allow phones to be used during class unless it was for a Kahoot game that we were playing, or it was, for them to listen to music while they were doing some type of in-class assignment or something like that. But just to have a student pop out a phone while you're lecturing and answer it or text somebody, I think that's a bit inappropriate, don't you? Think About It with Jaden Miller. All right, so these are just some topics that I wanted to talk to you all about today. Maybe a couple of more. Let me see. Let's go back to something. Let's go back to relationships again, all right? Here's one for you. This one is a little controversial. And for those of you that are under the age of 18, now you just, close your ears or close your eyes. But here we go. All right. Should we kiss with open or with closed eyes? All right. Should we kiss with open or with closed eyes? Well, if you open your eyes, that's because you want to see what's going on. You want to see what the other person's doing. You want to see if the other person has their eyes open. That's why you open your eyes. If you keep your eyes closed, maybe you're like in dreamy land, thinking about how wonderful this kiss is. All right. All right. I don't know. What do you all say? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel. You can also comment. Should you kiss with your eyes open or with your eyes closed? Is that something you should discuss with your partner? Hey, so listen, when we kiss, okay, I want you to keep your eyes closed, okay? Or on the other hand, after like 5 seconds of kissing, you can open your eyes so we can both see each other. I don't know. It seems crazy to me, but I don't know. I think you should keep your eyes closed personally, but if you want to open them, that's on you. All right. All right. Here, let me do one more here. Let's go back to food again. All right. Food. All right. Is cake better than ice cream? Is cake better than ice cream? Well, how can you have cake without ice cream? Okay. And how can you have ice cream without cake? I don't know. I think cake is all right by itself. I think ice cream is all right by itself, but I think they're so much better together. That's what I think. I think about it with Jaden Miller. I want to segue into discussing this case that I've been discussing all week, and that is the Gabby Petito case. All right. Um, this case has really, really caught the attention of the American public. There's been some controversy surrounding this case too, and the controversy has centered around uh, indigenous people, people of color, have felt as though cases regarding missing people of color have not been given the same attention as this case with Gabby Petito. I want you all to think about that. Is that true? All right. Should there be regard to race or culture or sex when it comes to missing people? Do the police tend to focus on young, pretty white girls, that are missing, as opposed to African American girls or Latina girls or Asian girls, Indian girls when they're missing, or men, black men or Latino men or indigenous men when they're missing? Do they seem to focus more on, someone that looks like a Gabby Petito? I don't know. Think about it with Jaden Miller. But as we talk about this case, Gabby was remembered as a kind, loving, and adventurous young woman at her funeral service today in Holbrook, New York on Long Island. There were lots of people, family, friends, and strangers that came to pay their respect to her. Joseph Petito, the father of Gabby Petito, whose daughter's remains were found a little while ago in that national forest in Wyoming. He described her as a happy girl who people would gravitate towards. She made others feel welcome, he said. And she loved being outdoors, scuba diving, hiking the Appalachian Trail, or snowboarding down sand dunes in Colorado. He said that he wanted people to be inspired by Gabby. All right. And he even said that if there's a trip that you guys want to take it now. Do it now while you've got the time. So he's inspiring people to still take trips. And even though his daughter met an untimely demise during a trip, he was still inspiring people to take one. He even mentions, he says, if there's a relationship that you're in that might not be the best thing for you, leave it now. And I think that's some advice he would have loved to have given his daughter when she was still alive, because look at the situation now with her and the relationship she had with her fiance, Brian Laundrie. All right. And as I've mentioned to you prior, they were on this cross-country trip. They stopped in Utah for a little while and unfortunately got into a tiff. They made it to Wyoming. They were in a restaurant there and got into a bad argument. She was really, really emotional during this time. Really, really bad situation. And it ended with Brian Laundrie taking her van, all right, and obviously leaving her somewhere in Wyoming while he drove clear across the country back to Florida where he lives, and then did not tell anybody about where she was and why he left her behind. And as such, her own parents, who didn't know, didn't report her missing until 10 days after Brian Laundrie made it home. Okay, so there's a lot of time that has expired. Okay, and Brian Laundrie, as I've mentioned, has a lot of explaining to do. The problem is that Brian Laundrie is still missing. All right. So the FBI has issued a warrant for his arrest, not for her death, but because he utilized some credit cards or something like that without permission. And so that's the basis for the warrant that they've issued for him. The thing is, now they've got to find him. All right. So the focus still remains on this swampy wilderness in Sarasota County and this Carlton Reserve, which is not far from where Laundrie's parents live, which is in Northport, Florida. All right. So it's this real large area that covers about 25,000 acres. And so there are dozens of law enforcement personnel from multiple agencies who have combed the reserve for signs of Laundrie. They've used drones and dogs as part of their search. They've used underwater dive teams from the Sarasota Sheriff's Office to look for him as well. Unfortunately, they still have not been able to find Brian Laundrie. So that case continues. Again, we send our respects to Gabby Petito's family, and we are certainly going to keep an eye out as the police continue to investigate this. And we hope that there will be a resolution and that the parents of Gabby Petito will find some closure and some justice as well. I want to thank you all for listening to my podcast today. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Think About It with Jaden Miller. Please, I'm looking to grow my followers. Please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. You can comment as well. Please follow me. Download, listen to my podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Remember, I drop episodes every Wednesday and Sunday. This has been a great new thing that I've gotten into, this whole podcast, and I want to thank those of you all that have been listening and that have been supporting me. All right, until next time, keep thinking about it with Jaden Miller. Have a great day.